It was supposed to be just another evening, a quiet dinner alone after a long, draining week. The city buzzed with life, lights flickering across glass towers, and laughter spilling from every restaurant doorway. Inside one of those cozy, softly lit cafes sat Alina Carter, her phone pressed to her ear as she gave final instructions to her assistant before a critical board meeting the next morning. Her voice was calm, confident, the voice of a woman who had built an empire from the ground up. But beneath that polished calm was exhaustion, the kind only those who carry both power and loneliness understand. She hung up, sighed, and reached for her coffee when she noticed the man at the bar staring, not casually, but intently, with the kind of persistence that prickles your skin. At first, she ignored it. She was used to attention, both wanted and unwanted. But when he got up and started walking toward her, something inside her froze. He sat down beside her without asking, pretending to know her, leaning close with a smirk that made her heart race. Not from flattery, but fear. She shifted, trying to end the unwanted encounter politely, but he wouldn't stop. The waiter glanced over nervously, unsure whether to intervene. And that's when, out of nowhere, a voice broke through the tension, calm, steady, protective. "Hey, sorry I'm late, babe," the man said as he walked up and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. The stranger turned, slightly confused, and Elena's eyes darted up to see the newcomer. Tall, dressed in a simple gray shirt, his sleeves rolled, his expression serious but kind. She didn't know him, but in that moment she didn't hesitate. She exhaled in relief and smiled back, playing along. "I was wondering when you'd show up," she said softly. The unwanted stranger muttered something under his breath and walked away, irritated. The tension broke. For the first time that evening, she felt safe. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the good that still exists in people, like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel right now. The man pulled back slightly, apologizing for the intrusion. "Sorry," he said. "I just noticed you looked uncomfortable." His name was Ryan Miller, a single dad, as she would soon learn, who had been at the cafe helping his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, finish her homework before they headed home. He hadn't planned to be anyone's hero that night, but something about Alina's expression had stirred him to act. They ended up sharing a table, laughing awkwardly at the strange turn of events. He told her about his job as a mechanic, how he'd been raising Lily alone since his wife passed away 3 years ago. There was a simplicity to him that Alina hadn't encountered in years, a quiet resilience that needed no titles, no pretense. For once, she didn't have to be CEO Carter. She could just be Elena. The conversation stretched for hours. They talked about life, loss, and what it means to start over. He spoke of how he'd nearly lost everything trying to keep his small garage running, but how Lily's laughter kept him going. Elena listened, her chest tightening with emotion she hadn't let herself feel for a long time. In his eyes, she saw something rare, sincerity untainted by ambition. As they said goodbye that night, Ryan thought she was just another woman with a warm smile and kind heart. He didn't know that she would go home to a penthouse overlooking the skyline, that her name was printed on business magazines as one of the most influential young CEOs in the city. The next morning, Alina couldn't stop thinking about him. Between back-to-back meetings, her thoughts kept drifting to that quiet cafe, to Ryan's easy laughter, to Lily's shy smile as she'd waved goodbye. She found herself smiling, something she hadn't done in a while. Over the next few weeks, they crossed paths again. The cafe became their unspoken meeting place. Sometimes it was intentional, sometimes accidental. He'd sit there with his daughter after school, and she'd stop by after work just to breathe outside her world of deadlines and investors. Lily adored her, always insisting Alina sit with them, showing her drawings or asking her to tell stories. But the more Alina grew close to them, the heavier her secret felt. Ryan didn't know who she really was. She had told him she worked in business management, nothing more. She feared that if he knew the truth, he would treat her differently, or worse, walk away. She had seen it before. People who looked at her with admiration until they realized her wealth, and then everything changed. But Ryan's kindness had been pure, uncalculated, and she wasn't ready to lose that. One evening, rain poured over the city as they sat in the cafe again. Lily was busy coloring, humming softly. Ryan looked out the window, deep in thought. He told Elena that the bank had called. His garage was struggling. He might have to close it down soon. The exhaustion in his voice broke something inside her. She wanted to help, to tell him she could write a single check and change everything. But she stayed silent, torn between wanting to save him and not wanting to insult his pride. That night, she couldn't sleep. She walked into her office, looking out over the city she had conquered, yet feeling powerless. What good was success if it meant hiding who she was from someone who made her feel alive again? The next morning, she made a decision. She went to Ryan's garage unannounced. He was surprised to see her, hair tied back, heels clicking against the concrete floor, the scent of oil and rain mixing in the air. "Elena, what are you doing here?" he asked, wiping his hands on a rag. She smiled nervously and told him everything. Who she really was, what she did, and why she had hidden it. Her words came in a rush of vulnerability, fearing he would see her differently now. The silence that followed was deafening. Ryan looked at her, processing it all. He wasn't angry, just quiet, searching her eyes. Finally, he said softly, "You didn't have to pretend. You're still the same person who sat with me when I was a stranger." His words hit her like a wave of warmth and relief. For the first time in years, she cried, not because she was broken, but because someone saw her, not her title. A few weeks later, something extraordinary happened. Elena, without telling Ryan, used her company's social outreach initiative to support small businesses, and Ryan's garage was among the first beneficiaries. The upgrade allowed him to expand, hire help, and provide free repairs for single parents in the community. When he found out, he confronted her, not with anger, but with gratitude that left them both speechless. In time, their connection deepened into something real. Elena found herself spending weekends with Ryan and Lily, baking cookies, fixing bikes, watching movies on old couches. She had never known that happiness could live in such simple moments. The boardroom didn't define her anymore. Love did. Months passed, and the woman who once built walls around her heart learned how to let them fall. Ryan taught her that strength wasn't about control, but trust. And Elena, in turn, taught him that vulnerability wasn't weakness, it was courage. On a quiet evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, Ryan and Elena walked hand in hand down the same street where they first met. The cafe lights glowed softly in the background. Lily ran ahead, laughing, her small footsteps echoing in the golden light. Ryan stopped, turned to Elena and said, "You know, the night I saw you there, I thought I was helping you. But you were the one who changed my life." Elena smiled through tears, realizing that sometimes the people we meet by chance are the ones fate had written for us all along. And as they stood there, two hearts that had healed each other, the world felt quieter, kinder, and infinitely more beautiful.